Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 108. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Jim, these levels are... Fuck, these levels. I just pulled a U. I already
start.
messed it up. You know what? F it. We're done.
All right. Well, see you later, everyone.
These episodes are really just flying by. Number is just going crazy.
Yeah, it's going up and up.
Jim, is it similar to my Untappd number? See
Oh,
what I did there?
Jesus. I was wondering where you're going with that.
Do you see
Yes.
what I did there?
Congratulations, go to Brian, for hitting 1,000 beers on Untappd.
I
Is that the
forget
word?
Someone posted on our Instagram. It's like a reverse AA chip.
Yeah, that was Sriracha from the Loudest Podcast.
Yeah, that was that's a pretty good. I thought about that. I was like, it is odd that this, and we've talked about this on here before, but Untappd is one of those things. The nerd achievement hunter in me like keeps saying like, oh, I want to keep getting these badges, but when you think about it, it's like, just keep consuming more and more alcohol.
Hey, another post. Hey, another posting. Hey, another posting.
Yeah, so 1,000 beers. I started Untappd probably 6 months after we started the site, I think, roughly.
I thought you did beforehand.
No, I did it like because I was like, Mole actually, one of our buddies told me about it, and
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. And it was one of those things where at first like I didn't do much, and I found myself like relogging the same shit. And Jim started it for all of like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I hated the
Gave up
interface. I
promptly.
hated the interface back then, so I peaced out.
But no, I've said many times, it's just super useful. And for someone like me who's obsessed with keeping track of lists, trying to follow, like, did I have this before? What did I think of it? It's just useful for archive. I don't use it for, like, legit looking at other people's reviews or even my own, other than, like, oh, yeah, I think I gave this one, like, 3 stars. Like, okay, what's it look like? So
Brian's leaving reviews. Don't let him lie to you.
no,
He's
I'm
Beercock 473. Leaving his
Damn it,
long-winded
Jim, that
diatribes.
was my other alias. Don't tell everyone.
Oh shit, doxed you.
But yeah, it's that amazes me when people leave those really long reviews on there because you know you're typing it in by hand.
Well, yeah, it's the Yelp reviews of the beer world.
That is a good way to put it.
I think I stole that line from Steve when they were on.
Jim, if you had to guess, what do you think your number's at?
I would probably be conservatively, probably in the 500s.
Yeah, I think you're easily there.
Yeah.
Maybe I might even give you like 6.
Yeah, I might be on the cusp of 6.
Yeah.
I've had a run. I've had my share.
Before we start the site, how many beers do you think you actually tried? Would like 50 probably be too generous?
50 would be generous. Because, like, anytime I had anything, like, remotely crafty or hoppy, I was like, oh my god, who drinks this garbage?
No, I'm honestly thinking. I think before we started, other than my our buddy Jay, who like he was the first guy I knew that was like into craft beer, and he would like bring 6-packs over my brothers. And I remember we would all bust his balls, like, "Oh, look at Mr. Fancy,
Yeah,
bringing all these crazy beers." Other than him, though, like it was literally the main macros. Every bachelor party. What was our go-to, Jim? I know you got to remember this.
oh god, Molson Triple X.
Molson, because was it 10% or 8%?
Something like that. We would do Triple X and ice to cover our bases. So
Yeah,
they were at least like 8%, if not more.
That was our go-to, like, oh, bachelor party, we're getting really drunk. We're doing that up.
You can imagine the smell that'll be procured in a room being housed by 10 drunk guys on Molson Triple X in suicide-proof windows that you can't open up. So there's no getting rid of that smell.
Yeah, our bachelor stories are very interesting. Maybe they'll be Patreon exclusives.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, other than the main macros, and as we talked about, like, having a random golden monkey or, you know, oh, I'm getting fancy. I'm doing a blue moon with an orange tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really, like, I didn't try much beer before this site.
Yeah, I remember like having a Warm Yards. It was either like a Warm Yards or like a Warm Yards, and I was like, this is the most dog shit. Like, just it tastes like dirt. Like, what the hell is this crap? Happened, I think, when I had Hobdevil too for the first time.
Oh yeah, first time anyone I feel like has an IPA. Do you find it funny? Like, I'm sure you do. You still come across, like, I know your brother's not the biggest craft, but like,
Right.
when you try, have you ever tried to introduce anyone to like anything outside the norm of beers, and it just like never works?
I mean, I'll typically go with, like, especially with someone who doesn't do anything, like, I'll be like, get a Mad Elf. Like, if they're just, like, straight a macro person. And that, like, never goes wrong for the most part. But, shit, one that went wrong. I don't know, I think I can't remember offhand of me, like, grossly disappointing anyone with my beers.
The only one I can think of is when I went up to camp with Juan and I brought Merry Monks. And, you know, that's a 9 or 10% triple.
Yeah.
Because he won it to strong, because he loves Mad Elf. He will go out, he's the guy who goes out and spends $80 on a whole case, because that's the one craft he really drinks.
Yeah.
But with the Merry Monks, I remember he's like, that shit is too strong, like it's too bitter. But it's a triple. It's not even like an IPA or anything, but it just, he took one sip and was like, yeah, I can't finish that. I was like, wow, okay, damn it.
Enjoy your headache. That's a good headache beer.
My brother, I've definitely opened him up to a lot more craft, but even him, he doesn't go too crazy with like IPAs and stuff like that. So, yeah. But speaking of drinking, Jim, what do you got tonight?
Tonight, from the Double Nickel Brewing Company out of
Double Nickel.
Yep, out of Westphalia. It's a West Coast. Yeah, this is their Westphalia West Coast style IPA. Double dry hopped with Citra, Simcoe, and Chinook. So 6.8%. That's it's respectable. Canned out of Pensacola, New Jersey. Good old local boys.
Yeah, I remember them from our bracket. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm doing a beer, Jim, I think you definitely need to try, if you haven't already, from the Von Trapp Brewing Company out of Stowe, Vermont. I'm doing their Pilsner, just straight up called Pilsner Bohemian style lager. It says a little of Austria, a lot of Vermont. By the family that inspired the sound of music. A smooth, crisp Pilsner with Pearl and Saz hops. Brewed on the grounds of the Trapp Family Lodge in Stowe, Vermont, this lager is crafted with the finest traditional ingredients and our pure Vermont spring water. 5.4%, 42 IBUs. And yeah, have you ever seen these around? Like,
no, I haven't, surprisingly.
So I got a mixed pack. It's all lagers. So it's this. I got a Hell's. I got a Dunkel, and I think just a straight up golden lager.
Okay.
This was perfect since we just talked about that. I was like, there's not enough craft breweries that do like just lagers. Dude, I gotta say, we just started, and this Pilsner is going down like, whoo! It's so smooth, and it tastes really like this is what a good Pilsner could be. Right. So I'm all for it. Never had Von Trapp before, but cheers. I actually never even saw The Sound of Music before. So
you never seen it?
Mm-mm.
They didn't make you like sit down and watch it in like grade school and shit?
No, Jim. My grade school probably didn't even have a TV.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're one of them public school pause.
Yeah. We can't all be privileged like you, Jim. Come on.
Us highfalutin Catholic kids. Might have had a finger or two in the old cornhole, but you know what? We got some good TV out of it.
Yeah, no, that was one of the movies that always escaped me. And even though I know it's a classic, it's one of those. It's like whenever you hear of any classic movies, like, do you ever really go back and watch them?
Unless I like happen onto them for whatever reason, then yeah, not that much.
Yeah. So I can't recommend these. Well, let me try the other beers before I recommend too hard. But if you're a macro guy, this would be perfectly up your alley. All right, Chambers. So what you been playing this past week?
Shitload of Mortal Kombat 11.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, in between doing like, you know, other stuff around the house and getting ready for Easter. Yeah, I blew through the entire original story for Mortal Kombat, and I'm like halfway through Aftermath, which I know isn't as long. So,
and even though I know we're going to be the review, no matter what, I am going to push Jim and myself. We are getting the MK11 review out before the movie comes out, which is at the end of the month. What do you think?
Brian, do it at the same time. Be smart.
I mean, we can. But what do you think so far?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. I've I actually just
goofy
started...
over the top story, which is perfect for Mortal Kombat. Good, controls good, looks good, good voice acting, except for Ronda Rousey. So yeah, I mean, it's a damn solid game.
By the way,
a lot of fan service.
You can tell that Mortal Kombat hangs around too much with DC with all the time warp and this shit and different versions.
Excuse me, Avengers Endgame with your time warp shit.
Let's
not be throwing stones.
There was
glass houses.
There was one time warp there, Jim. How many versions of the Flash are there?
What?
How many versions?
What? There's a couple.
How many versions?
It's like 4. Yeah.
And
I mean, are we counting JSA, Jay Garrick Flash, who wasn't in the Speed Force, or?
Exactly. I'm not. Hey, that might be right up some people's alley, but that's the only thing. I love that there is a big story. Calling it cohesive, I don't know if that's the right word. It's a story, but there's like young Liu Kang, old Liu Kang, Reverend Liu Kang, God Liu Kang. I'm like, there's too many versions of so many characters.
I've noticed just maybe it's because I just recently played it, but like there are so many goddamn callbacks to Mythology Sub-Zero in that game.
Is it really?
Yes, there's so many.
Well, actually, because isn't Mythology's
prequel?
That's where Chinook was introduced, right?
At the very end, yeah.
Yeah, because that was his first appearance in any Mortal Kombat thing.
Yep.
That's a thing. It's funny because the Aftermath I just started today, and I remember thinking, like, in the original MK11, I was like, where's Shang Tsung? Like, he's not here. And that gets explained in the Aftermath. So they actually just announced, did you see that there may be one final, like, player pack for this game?
Oh, no.
So it's obviously very, very, very high-level rumors. But they're saying, like, probably Reptile could be coming.
All right.
Some of the ones I think would be very interesting. I don't know if it's his fans or whatnot, but you got Ash from Evil Dead as a character. John Wick.
Okay.
I'm like, that kind of actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Or potentially Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who they're going to put in there, but all three of those, I was like, that would actually kind of fit in that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see Mad Max, very Outworld-ish. John Wick, it would just be hilarious. Like,
right.
I'm waiting for him to be he's already been in Fortnite, so throw him into Mortal Kombat.
Might as well, yeah.
But yeah, so that's really been your main game, though?
No, this week, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I've, with my hot water heater being busted and multiple cleanups due to that, and more follow-up bullshit water, it's really been Mortal Kombat 11, and then Jim was able to join me on stream, which every Thursday night, if you're not watching, follow us on Twitch. There's links below. But Jim, we played Worms Armageddon WMD.
Yes, we did. We did a very skillful and totally not full of fucked up version of it.
I hope there's not like a real dedicated fan base or anyone that watches us that knows about that game, because I am going to post a highlight to our YouTube, because you just got to see some of them. But we suck beyond belief. And also, it's very clear, as I'll put in the clips, the first like game or two, we still have no idea what like half the things do. How to even properly like hold down the fire button. So there's lots of misfires.
Yep.
But
a lot of pre-ejaculate bazookas. I'll say that.
Here's the only thing I'll say. Afterwards, what I thought was it would be a fun drinking game.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of playing multiplayer, I have zero interest in playing that game. But it is goofy fun. I'll give it that completely. But yeah, outside of that, I haven't really I've had zero time to do anything else, so.
Well, my basement's flooded. I can't play video games.
Yes, Jim, that is a WAN situation. If there's ever a time for a WAN, that's a goddamn WAN. You're like, wah, I'm tired. My tum-tum hurts. Wah.
It's a big tummy to hurt, Brian.
Jim, can I call you tum-tum from now on?
I think you can do it anyway.
3 Ninjas Kick Back?
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Come on. You got to be my tum-tum.
Oh, God. Pull that reference out of your goddamn ass. How recently have you seen that?
Oh, I haven't seen it in a long time, but
That seems that's like a reference you pull out when you saw it like 5 years ago.
No, I thought about it. Don't ask me why I thought about it, but I think one of the actors that was in it, like I saw like a modern picture of him like in the past couple months.
Yeah.
And that was always on my rotation from rentals from West Coast Video. Me and my brother, we got that, the original and Kicks back, and I love the shit out of them. And good old Tum Tum. There was a game for that?
Oh, there was. Wasn't it for...
I know it was for Super NES. I just assume it's for Genesis.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm thinking of Surf Ninjas for the Game Gear. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we will have to play that now.
Oh, yeah, that.
So we will definitely have to play that, Jim. And you can be Tum Tum.
Fine. Broaden my horizons. I'll be your goddamn Tum Tum.
Jim, you know what? I'm going to make you play just a whole month of 80s... Well, actually, shit, that was 90s. 80s and 90s random games that are really obscure.
Okay.
From movies.
All right. Fine by me.
But, so yeah, what do we got from our Patreons?
Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 measly per month, you can ask a question that we will answer on this Power Hour podcast. So,
thank you guys for who have been supporting us. You're the best.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. We don't deserve it. First up from 5th Gen Mook. I might have missed you talk about it, but what are your thoughts/expectations for the new Mortal Kombat movie? How apropos.
Extremely excited. I've said it multiple times. Favorite fighting game franchise without a doubt. We obviously covered all the games up till 11, minus all the side games. It looks really good. I don't want to get my expectations too high because at the end of the day, it's still a video game movie, and we know how most of those turn out. And when you try to do legit plot into anything, some of the shit I saw, it's like, are they going to try and squeeze too much in there? I don't know, but either way, I'm just excited, and I love the fact it's on HBO Max. Kind of like Kong versus Godzilla, because I don't have to go to a theater. And right now, most people aren't either. So, really excited. But it did get pushed back a week, because it was supposed to be the 15th or 16th. Now it's like the following week at the end of the month. So, Did you even watch the trailer, Jim?
Yes, I did actually watch the trailer because we talked about this trailer a couple weeks ago, and no, I think it looks awesome. Like, it looks like it's got that level of gore down. They're going all in for the kind of violence you would expect from a Mortal Kombat movie. So, keep it a simple, goofy story and give it lots of action. I'm game.
Jim, is there any thought from your end? Like, do you want this to be a one-off, or are you already assuming it'll definitely be turned into a sequel?
I'm kind of assuming, unless it's complete utter dog shit, I'm going to assume it's going to get a sequel.
So if that was the case, what is your, like, if you wanted to see a Mortal Kombat movie done right, what do you want it to actually, like, are they doing, like, the first actual movie? Are they doing the legit tournament, like Shang Tsung, bringing them to the island? What is a good way to even set up a second movie? Because is it, like, it's tough because without doing it kind of like the first two movies did,
right,
where you have just Shang Tsung as the enemy in the first and then Shao Kahn in the second, how else can you really do it? Like, you got to have them going to the island. Someone's got to beat Shang Tsung. It's pretty much got to be Liu Kang.
Right.
But, like, if you have Sub-Zero and Scorpion, which clearly is a very big point in that movie, you see them going back and forth. So they really capture that. Like, do you even bother having them really in the tournament, or are they just doing their own shit on the side?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, when you say, give your perfect Mortal Kombat movie, I was kind of just going to say, like, do one again, but a little bit better, I guess.
Okay.
Make it a little less campy, but I think story-wise, like, they pretty much nailed it. I mean, if they want to have, I don't know if they're going to introduce another random character out of nowhere again to be killed by Goro, but...
Well, that's the thing. You almost, like, have to have some complete randos, right? Like, to get some cool fatalities or something. Because otherwise, like, do you really want to see, like, a mainstay? Now, granted, at this point, how many freaking characters does Mortal Kombat have?
Oh, God.
So you could easily throw Jarek or, like, Husao at Goro. But, yeah. Dude, I would love if they threw mocap in there.
I thought in 11 when there's all those like hanging inside out bodies for the Turkotans, I was like, oh boy, a bunch of meats. Please one come alive.
I was waiting for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The movie looks great. I'm really excited. Did you ever watch that YouTube like mini show when it was Mortal Kombat? They did like a mini series. I don't want to call it fan made because it would seem like legit.
I think I remember what you're talking about, and that actually might have been fan made. I know there's been a Street Fighter one that's been fan made that's been going on for a while, but I want to say Mortal Kombat had one too because we're talking like early 2010s, right? When like kind of started.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing that, and I was always like, man, like they're doing all these crazy remakes. Why not do Mortal Kombat? Yeah. I feel like Mortal Kombat though between that and Street Fighter, that is clearly the easy adaptable to big screen. I feel like you can never do a good Street Fighter movie. It would be very tough. Let's put it that way.
Just redo the one that already came out and do it right this time.
What do you mean? The perfection that was Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Guile?
The only bad thing is you can't have Raul Julia again because he was by far the best part of that.
He elevates all movies he's in, Jim.
Well, it is true.
When he was able to. Rest in peace.
Yeah, right. But no. To sum it all up, we're definitely excited. And next up and last up from Alex Perez, what are some multiplayer games over the years that you guys have had the most fun playing with and against each other, whether online or otherwise?
I'll let you go first, Jim. Or do you need me to go first?
I've had me a lot of frustration playing games with you over the years.
All right, what's been your favorite? What's been your favorite co-op? I mean, we obviously haven't done it. We've actually done a lot of co-op games.
I don't know what my favorite one I can say we did was. I mean, like besides saying like Streets of Rage 2 or something easy like that. But like I think like the most surprising one that I had fun with was Rambo and the Master System.
Okay.
The one that was like kind of like a Car Wars. Like I think that was like the one that I was like, holy crap! I was expecting complete. I don't even know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. I was like, man, this is really fun.
I'm going with the one we always talk about, which is Left 4 Dead.
Oh, I thought we were talking since starting the page. I didn't think going back.
I mean,
I don't know. I got that in my head for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think in recent memory, co-op games, in theory, you could also argue playing just any Call of Duty together with our friends has been PUBG. I still will say the summer we played that with Eric and Mole, those games were so ridiculous, and they really were just stupid fun. How ridiculous they were. But no, Left 4 Dead I still say is my favorite co-op, and even going against each other, Jim, how frustrated would you get as the tank every time?
I hated being the goddamn tank. I never wanted to be the tank, because when I was the tank, I never got a goddamn kill on like anyone. I'll just be like circled around like the dum-dum I am, so yeah.
Well,
like,
Jim, since
I'm better as a boomer, I'm a decent hunter, don't make me be the tank.
Jim, since you do have such a boner still for Rocket League, I feel like we should play that together. We should team up, try and do that.
Yeah.
Frustration. I remember, before the page, one of the games we played the most, though, was Tekken. We used to play the shit out of that.
We played a fuckload of Tekken.
Yeah, like that was,
on my 13-inch TV down at school.
Yeah, we played that. I mean, we did Deception a lot, too. Or Armageddon, was it?
We did Armageddon, yeah.
Yeah, I remember we played that a lot.
And one of the SmackDown vs. Raws.
Jim, what was more frustrating, though? the anger of Tekken, when I was Brian Fury, or like I said, in Armageddon, when I would knock you into the environmental pits. Which one pissed you off a little more?
It was always more Brian Fury than the fucking punches. Because I could see myself falling into it going, don't jump here, don't jump here, don't jump here. Oh, I jumped. Oh, he saw it coming. And just knowing that pain was coming every single goddamn time. The pits or whatever. Like sometimes you take a bad bounce in the pits, but the goddamn Brian Fury punches.
The Brian Fury punches, they were them, and that his like kind of spinning sidekick that sent you flying too. Those were ridiculous.
That was also
you son of a bitch was still the devil Jim. Every time with that laser beam.
Zap. Zap, zap.
I remember like the first time we squared off, and like I was like, why are you flying? What are you do? You just took half my life away. What the shit is this? And you're over there giggling.
That's about right.
Yeah, no, I would say those are probably. I mean, I feel like we will, now that you got Game Pass, we'll definitely try all those games for sure.
Oh yeah.
God, I can't wait for us to keep trying to go through Gears of War again and just
Yeah,
failing miserably.
Oh, restart. Oh, I'm dead again. Oh, I'm dead again. Right.
Help me. It can't be as bad as you and Matt with Army of Two.
I'm going to shoot it, Matt. Let's not shoot it. Let's shoot the guards first. No, I'm going to shoot the thing. Matt. Shit.
Oh, yeah. But no, great question. I'm sure as Jim gets to stream more, you'll get to see more frustration.
Oh, will you ever? If you enjoy Jim being frustrated, then Worms and Armageddon was a great goddamn stream for it.
But no, thank you everyone once again. And if you haven't already, please check out our Patreon if you do want to support us. Like we said, for $2 a month, if you want to ask us questions on all these podcasts, and we have other tiers available if you want us to do any reviews or anything like that. So thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yep, for sure.
All right, Chamber. So before we get into our questions, or I guess our topics, what did you think of that beer?
That. Yeah. So the first beer was fine.
Yeah.
It was a citrusy double IPA. Like, it was hoppy. You had that little aftertaste of citrus, but it's like kind of one in a million, but it was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Double Nickel. I'm not talking shit on them. Most of the beers I've had from them, exactly like Jim said, just fine. Meh. Not blowing your hair back. Not getting a call the night after. Just saying, they don't get breakfast.
You don't let them have breakfast?
They don't meet mom. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, you need to leave.
So what are you moving on to now?
I'm going with the Socks and Sandals Foggy Indian Pale Ale. Comes in at 6.6% alcohol. Features Citra, Centennial, Simcoe, and Chinook hops. So, like, almost all the same ingredients as the last one I had.
Is that still Double Nickel?
No, this is from the blah, 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 blah. Crafted by Humble Sea Brewing Company out of Santa Cruz, California.
Never heard of them, never tried them.
Nope.
It's actually been a minute since I've had any
Nice summery can.
California or West Coast beers. I feel like you've been the West Coast boy for the past like month and a half.
For the past like year. Get the craft beer kings, Bri. You'll get all your West Coast needs.
So I am moving on. By the way, the Pilsner from Von Trapp is really good. Definitely recommend it. But now I'm moving on to their Hell's Golden Lager. It's another just... Why would they not have percentage on this one? Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, no, they do. 4.9%, 20 IBUs. So it's actually less alcohol and a little smoother than... Well, it's a lot smoother. But it's a bright, easy drinking, and complex golden lager. Brute, and then it's all the same language. I'm not going to read all that. But as you can see, crystal clear.
Oh, yeah.
Very pale, like straw color. The light is making it look a little orangey on camera, but it's actually more like yellow. Jim, pop quiz. Do you know why it's called a Hell's Lager?
Because the Christians hated it and it would send you to hell?
No, because the German word for Hell's is light or golden.
Oh, I like my way better.
And Jim, for bonus points, you should get this.
Uh-oh.
Why do they call it a Dunkel Lager?
Ah, fuck. I actually did used to know this, but I can't think of it right now.
Because it means dark.
Oh.
Hence being a dark lager.
I was really overthinking that one.
You were really, yeah. So there's light and dark. So yeah, going with the light one.
Interesting. No, it looks good, though. Ooh, this is tasty. I think I just got, like, a straight, like, orange peel in my mouth. It's like, what the fuck?
Jim, it's like that summer in 92 for you.
92? Would have been 6. The
Exactly.
fuck? Exactly. You said that way too sensually.
Jim, did you ever see the movie Heavyweights?
No, I have not.
Do you know what it is?
Oh, yes, I do, Brian.
That was on the other day, and I almost sent you a picture, but I didn't because I'm a nice guy.
Because you're a nice guy. Because that's why you bring it up, because you're so nice.
No, because Ben Stiller, great guy.
Yeah. Speaking of great guys, though, I have to give a great big thank you before we move on to our wonderful Twitter followers, because this week there was nothing news-wise. And I was just like, man, I have no idea what we're going to talk about on this episode. So I pretty much put the questions out there. Hey, what do you guys want us to talk about? So every subject we get, we'll have their Twitter handles in the description. So go follow them. Good people.
Appreciate it, everyone.
But yeah, the first one up comes to us, brought to my attention by Nightwolf1975. There is a Metroid Prime 2D remake in the works. And the article comes to us from RetroRGB.com. And yeah, a guy's basically taken the story and, the setting and everything from Metroid Prime and putting it in a Super Metroid variant.
Yeah. No, it looks really, really well done. And for a guy doing this on his own, damn. That's a passion project if I've ever heard it. In the link below, there, if you read through it, there is a link to his Patreon. I didn't actually see how much he's gotten, but I love that. I just worry how long before it gets pulled down.
That's what I actually, as you were talking about the Patreon, I just clicked on the direct download link. I'm like, yoink, let me just get this before it's gone. Because the question is always, how long until Nintendo DMCA's you?
So here's my thing. I know I've never played any of the Primes. I know it's a vastly popular game, but that was the first-person shooter, right, for the GameCube?
Yep.
What is the story like that much different from the previous games?
I couldn't tell you because I didn't spend a lot of time with Prime. I didn't play it until I have Trilogy on the Wii, and that's how I was going to try to get into it. And I spent like 2 hours on it, and I was just like, man, I just don't like this. And then I never went back.
I thought the story, like from what the little bit I've gathered from the game, was that like Samus is like, the Primes, aren't they like a race of like trying to get rid of the Metroid? I'm gonna fuck this up too much, but basically they're trying to kill the hunters themselves.
Oh.
Like Samus, I thought, and I could be completely wrong, but no, I mean I'm all for it because shit, how many times have they kind of teased a Prime redo or a?
Well, I mean they announced Prime 4. What was it? 2 years ago now? One of those Nintendo Directs.
So they're just jerking everybody off.
No news about it since, so we'll be lucky to get it by the end of the Switch.
So they'll basically wait till that's about ready to come up, and then they'll make him pull all of the stuff for it, probably.
Yep.
Or if it gets too much heat.
Get prepped for the Switch U.
Yeah, but it looks really good. So if you are interested, check it out. Like I said, I'll put the picture like here while we're talking, but check out the link below. If it's anything you're interested in, support the guy while you can, because we know what Nintendo's going to do.
Yep, what Nintendo does best. Yeah, someone actually just showed off like a full expansion of Super Mario 64 like earlier today. Like a really impressive pack for the PC that's like had way more love than what the 3D All-Stars collection got.
Of course.
And now the question, he actually did something clever where his patch... What he has is basically a patch that you can download, so it's not even like a link to the ROM. So he might be able to get around Nintendo's bullshit because it's a thing you have to patch onto a game and not the game itself. Like you need the original ROM files to run it. It doesn't come with it.
So he's not... He'll be like, you can find ROM files here, but I'm not providing them.
Wink, wink. There are certain outlets.
I still, it never ceases to amaze me, like, modding that stuff will just drive people to want to go get it more. In my opinion. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But it's Nintendo.
Yep. And even if they can't do it one way, they'll try and find a way to screw you another way. They always do.
Dirty bastards.
But they have such good IPs. All's forgiven.
That shit lasts only so long, Jim.
Nah, you would think that. Next up, this one comes to us from the WDGR podcast. Single-player games that need constant online server play. What do you think about it? Like the bumpy launch for Outriders.
Unfortunately, we've talked about for a while. I mean, one of the best early examples we talked about was Evolve. It really sucks when a developer decides to go down this path when we've seen so many games fall victim to like servers going away, server issues. Because, like, if there's a server issue, there's no solution, there's no backup. We've talked about, like, Friday the 13th many times. They at least eventually gave an option. It's just like you versus bots, but it was a way to play the game, not to its fullest capacity, but still you could get something out of it. I, like, is it saving these developers a shit ton of time to just not even throw in an option of go against bots, to not have some local single player only options? It just amazes me. It's either a lot of faith in the way things will probably go, or it's just a way to save a cheap buck. I don't know, but either way, I think it's not a good idea, because a lot of people still don't like that, and I feel like PlayStations have been the prime example of people still clamor for single player games, and it's not like single player games are going away anytime soon. So stop doing these only multiplayer games unless you're going to do them for an outrageously discounted price, or like Fortnite and Warzone, do them free and get your microtransactions. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a pain in the balls in general, like, even outside the realm of video games. Like, I remember one time I had my laptop with me, and I was out, like, at some place, and I had some alone time. So I was like, oh, I can get some work done on the video here. So I go, like, and I had all my footage, like, already done, already downloaded, basically already edited. I just had to piece everything together. And my editing software wouldn't let me connect, even though it's just a freestanding editing software without an internet connection. And I was like, motherfucker. I have Wondershare Filmora. It's not great, but it was like something I needed 5 years ago when I needed something that could do picture-in-picture for cheap. So,
Gotcha.
I got to upgrade that one day. I got to do like a humble bundle for like Sony Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I do see a future where, like, there's nothing that won't be connected to the internet, but we're not there. There's going to be that bumpy road, and when there's a server issue, and especially for a game that's, like, so new, that's such a stain on the reputation of that game that's, like, man, it's not the way to go. I really don't understand it. Maybe anyone listening, you guys might understand it better than Jim and I. Maybe it does save money. I don't know. But then how do you justify a full price game for not a full price, actual, like, product?
You just hope it's the thing people want. That's all it is at that point. You're just gambling that it becomes a service.
And everything I've been reading about Outriders is like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it does zero special. It actually, like, probably does less than most modern shooters. So it's like a free world, shoot 'em, loot 'em, but it's so goddamn basic. Yeah, exactly. Like, you actually might like it, Jim, because it is so bare bones and it's so, like, simple. But, like,
I'm not saying through cutscenes.
Are you going to pay full price for that? Like, no. That's fucking nuts.
They'll be lucky if it's on Gamepass right now. They'll be lucky if I download it.
Well, I know we're playing for next Thursday.
Spite.
So yeah, I don't like it. I hope developers start seeing the error of their ways.
See the light.
Are they blinded by the light? Damn it, Jim. How many times did we listen to that in college?
Oh, too many times. We've listened to everything too many times in college. But no, good idea. Yeah, just leave. If we pay the goddamn price for it, can we just have it?
Yeah,
without
exactly.
any goddamn connection. So no, good question. Next to us comes to us from our old buddy Snarkcast @GamerGeeks Todd. So normally I was trying to hope that this could be a GamersMad segment, but the comment sections I saw were really, really weird, because it was like, because it was a console war going on, but it was like, it wasn't between like normal gamer nerds. It was by like sports game nerds. So it was like a whole different like kind of feel to it. Like everyone was trying to turn every point that they had into a power move. Like the Xbox side. So basically the long story short is MLB the Show, the franchise, has been PlayStation exclusive for I think almost basically ever.
Yeah.
Like I played the hell out of it in the mid like 360 PS3 era. Like it was just like almost a perfect sports game at that point. We played over my one buddy's place all the time. So me having an Xbox One and not a PS4, I haven't been able to play it in years and years and years. And in a weird move, well, maybe not weird for them, the MLB said, hey, if you want this series to continue, you have to open up to like every platform. So I guess they want to get as much money as possible out of this deal. So even though Sony owns the game and the rights to make the game, you know, they own like the entire thing basically, but there's no game without the MLB's consent to it. So they could pull it any time.
Yeah.
So Sony basically went, okay, you know, I guess we're making it for everything. And Xbox, in what the Xbox fans will say is their power move, decided to put this brand new game day one, $70 on the PS5, free on Game Pass.
That's a brilliant. If you're playing chess, they just took their queen. I don't know what else to say. Like, that is the ultimate FU move. And I thought about this without thinking of all that backstory. It sounds ridiculous, but just like during this pandy, like we see with HBO...
Wait. This pandy?
Yeah.
You just call the pandemic a pandy?
Yeah. During this time, you know, King Kong versus Godzilla, the Mortal Kombat, they are coming out in theaters the same day as it's releasing on HBO Max. But they're doing it because they recognize, like, okay, people aren't getting out. We're going to do it same day. But they still, like, it still made, like, 50 million in theaters, not counting whatever it made from HBO Max subscriptions. I almost feel like Game Pass has the ability, like, they'll put the game up, but they could probably take it off after like 30 days. So if you give people a taste, like, imagine if you got really invested and got back into that game, and then you knew it was expiring in 30 days, and you had like all these, like, you were going through a season or whatever you had, you might be like, you know what, I love this game enough, I'm going to go buy it. Like, I feel like it could be a good strategy, but I do think this was definitely their move to say, FUPS. I'm amazed that a game like any major sports game can be exclusive on any console these days. Like, I couldn't imagine being whoever has the rights for MLB, like the main whatever.
I mean, it's Sony and the MLB.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, MLB, I'm shocked even allowed it to begin with. Only go, like, why not maximize your profits?
A fuckload of money. That's how they did it.
True. Yeah.
I mean, it's like when the NFL threw all their money at when EA threw all their money at the NFL to say we're making licensed player games and no one else. So that's why that's why 2K right. died and everything else.
So do you think though, like, did MLB crack because maybe the deal with Sony just was starting to go south? Like, maybe Sony's not paying as much, or do you think Xbox kind of said we'll match Sony? Like, what do you think that happened?
I think, like, it's got its dedicated fan base, but I think the MLB just wanted a bigger cut. Maybe they're trying to make up for losses for, like, you know, having a year without revenue from in-person seating and stuff like that. So it's a good way to do it. Get it on every platform and license it and get your little cents here and there every way you can.
Yeah, so it kind of matches your gamers, man. I mean, PlayStation gamers are mad.
But no, here's where it's, like, not mad. Because, like, everyone involved, basically, like, if you see someone online and, like, they're obviously, like, pissed off and, like, cracking about something stupid, and you just write #NotMad, like, that can just set them off to and, like, instantly block you, basically. Mm-hmm. So, like, everyone's trying to play that game with, like, not mad with this. So the Xbox side is like, total power move by doing it for free, even though, like, you know, we couldn't play it for however many years. And then PlayStation side's like, hey, PlayStation owns the IP, so when you think about it, PlayStation's going to be getting money from every Xbox sale or something like that. That's a total power move right there. So it was like everyone's just trying to play not mad and, like, trying to, like, have their best cope for this.
I still, you and I have talked about console exclusives many, many times. I see value in it, but, like, at the same time, it's like, if it opens up, I don't give two shits. Like, I'm not, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, we're at a point in society where I feel like, you know, the console exclusives are such a small list on them that are, like, super worthwhile to have. Like, do you really need to, like, boast and be like, oh, we got this one? Okay, like, more people can play MLB. Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, who cares?
I mean, it'd be nice to play on the Game Pass for me. I'm playing forever.
But Jim, what if it expires in 30 days? Will you go out and buy it?
We'll see. I'll buy it in like 4 years when it's like $3.
Damn it, Jim. Damn it.
Look, that's what I do every generation with a sports game. I get one like mid of the generation for one of the older ones. Like they don't make enough difference. I don't care about the roster that much, so I can have one for the entire generation of a console, then get my one per.
See, that's where I'm interested in you. Like, I can love the old school games because it really is more of a mechanics thing for me of, like, sports games. But if I'm going to be invested in a roster, I do kind of want to play with the newest roster. Like, I don't want to go back to the Eagles from, like, '06 and play a game back then, you know? Like, I mean, granted, I don't want to play last year's team either. But I'm just saying, like, you know, rosters should matter. That's like the one thing that should matter, I feel like, in sports games.
Well,
Like,
I mean, that's how they sell every year.
No, I know they do, but I'm saying, but for you don't care about them. That's what's like odd to me. Like, you're almost only caring about the mechanics.
Right. Do my powers of hating storylines go so deep?
I feel
so
like they really
painfully
do.
deep that I don't need the characters. I just need the gameplay.
Like that's what's kind of fucking up my head right here. Like, are you taking it to a different level of, like, you don't care so much? You're like,
You finally got hit with that, oh my god, it's not a bit.
like, it really is ridiculous how much you hate anything relevant. It just, damn it, Jim.
What's the word for it? Where it's like, how do you care so little you can't get attached to anything?
Like,
Anything you play.
You know me, I'm obsessed with the UFC. I don't think I could go back to, like, some of the first or earliest UFC games, except for the ones I have. But even them, like, I kind of want to play with newer guys. Like, I don't. It's like having the roster. Like, wrestling games are the only weird one where they're smart enough to always keep, in one way or another, bringing back the biggest classic wrestlers from any generations. I feel like it would almost be smart for sports games to do that too. Like, have a fantasy element. I don't know.
A lot of them will have like a Hall of Fame mode or stuff like that.
Have a Hall of Fame mode, but, like, I'm almost saying, like,
Where Hall of Fame players do unlock. A lot of them have that too.
do they have it? Like,
Yeah. Like currency you can earn in game or buy on the side, and you can spend on like card packs and shit like that. Madden's had that forever.
so is it like? Oh, but, like, say, like, basketball, is it only going to be limited to, like, Jordan, Bird, Iverson, and, like, a handful of others, or is it, like, a pretty deep roster?
That's the catch. Depends on the year.
Okay. Either way, I think it's funny, and Jim, I do expect to see you download that. You have no excuse.
Yeah, no, I want to play the shit out of it, so I will be downloading that.
Man.
God damn it. So, next up's a real quick one from our buddy Gamer Astral. He's just like, talk about PS4 Slim hard drives failing. So, this poor sap. He's owned 3 PS4 Slims, and all their hard drives are burned.
Why are they so prone? Like, I've seen that. Why? Like, I don't remember any other generation of PlayStation, the Slim versions failing. I always remember the previous versions, like the Fat Boys, failing. I never remember Slims being that shitty.
Yeah, apparently they did, while they like boosted a lot of the specs for like the PS4 Pro, this hurts the PS4 Pro and Slim a lot more because they did a lot more cost-cutting measures, I guess, with the materials that they used. And yeah, that's just leading to more breakdowns and failures. And apparently, like, the original PS4 is kind of like, it's almost funny, like, it's obviously not the 50% rate that the fucking Xbox 360s were, but the PS4s are definitely, like, the failure kings of this generation, hardware-wise. And, like, no one's made, like, really any stink about it.
No.
I guess you can get away with it when you sell, like, some of the, like, almost the most consoles of all time ever.
I mean, I feel like the king forever will always go down as the 360. Like, the Red Ring of Death was such a meme before, like, when memes were being invented. Like, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of another console that was famous. I'm not counting, like, obscure handhelds. I'm talking, like, more legit shit. I can't think of another console that even came close to, like, knowing that it was going to fail. I remember one of Juan's cousins telling me, like, you could, like, open it up and super glue pennies to the heatsink to stop, like, there was like all these crazy hacks.
Or wrap it. My one friend was the pro of the wrapping it in a blanket while on to heat it up enough to re-loosen the heat sink back into place before it like popped off again.
It's crazy.
So you would get like an hour of play out of it.
You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I can think the original Xbox, I remember, did have a lot of issues.
Yeah, they're getting more now because they use cheap capacitors, apparently.
Yeah, but I'm just, I guess maybe because PlayStation has a pretty good record of not having that many issues. It's kind of like, is this the pass? Is this the, the mulligan they're getting for years of not having as big of issues? I don't know.
I mean, the original PS3's had a shitload of issues, so they had heat problems too because of all the crap they jammed in there.
Yeah, but being still probably the best market Blu-ray player probably gave it a lot of leeway.
Yes, it did. So yeah, that sucks. It sucks they cheaped out on those parts.
Yeah, and I'm not happy about
it's weird
that.
It's weird that it's a generation where they had their mid-generation like reboot and boost for the consoles, but they wound up being made more crappily.
Yeah, I don't like it because that just means gamers out there are the ones that suffer. So
yeah,
I don't like it. I'm a man of the people. I'm like Jim.
What? Hey, screw the paupers.
He's a man of the Keystone.
Goddamn right I am. My precious, my one and only back here. Next comes to us from Poor John Brewing, and it seems very on par for us. Our go-to game/craft beer pairing, and his is, say, Super Mario World with a peach mango and IPA, for example.
Okay. I've said this many times, but if I have my ideal, when I play hard games, you got to go stout. You got to have something heavy. You got to have something with a decent amount of alcohol, a lot of flavor, and the dark chocolate, whatever. Like, it's a good sipper beer, calms you down. You're not going to be peeing every 5 seconds. Like, it's just the perfect beer to go with hard games. That's my go-to because that's my style as well. So that is a kind of an ideal matchup, if you will.
Yeah, I can't think of like an ideal one right now, but I'll go with one that I did the most last year, and that was goddamn any retro game along with a Firestone Cherry Chocolate Stout. There's just something about the booze level, the flavor, and just like the pacing of like, old school Sega Genesis games that, I don't know, it always seemed to work out well for me.
Well, Jim, you're now a sour boy, so
I'm a sour boy.
Would you say, since that is a little bit more obscure, still kind of only weirdos like it, but would you say that's perfect for your puzzle games and your Hotel Marios and your pinball? That mixes in with the right gaming crowd for the beer crowd.
And my Nakey pinball. Yeah.
Damn it, Jim.
What?
Yeah, sours and pinball. I feel like that's your combo right there.
Hey, you know what? You get that nice little crisp sour bite on the back of your tongue.
There's nothing crisp. You can't say crisp and sour in the same sentence, Jim.
That
right, doesn't make sense.
Could I have said tart? Sure. But real men say crisp.
Damn it, Jim.
That crisp spearmint bite.
Don't say crisp. Everything isn't crisp. God damn it.
Crisp. But yeah, no, I mean, I played the mango. Just always seemed to fit with like anything on the Genesis. So if you play the Genesis, drink the Cherry Chocolate Stout by Firestone Brewing.
So why'd you say mango?
Because he talked about his mango, peach, and IPA. I was wordsing.
Damn it, Jim. No, but John, good question. And yeah, I will have something coming out now that our site's up, talking more about game pairing and beer pairing.
All right, so next up from @knifed by Kang. Thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy?
I got to be honest. I think I just finally watched all of those movies for the first time 2 years ago with Monica, and I'm not the Harry Potter guy, but I enjoyed the movies, like to the point where I'm like, oh, that was fun watching all of them. I'm not super obsessed. The game looks really cool. If it goes, like, I still can't really tell from the previews. Is it more of an open world? Is it almost like Bully, like within Hogwarts?
I want to say yes, but like I'm so sick of Harry Potter that like I didn't really pay attention.
Did you watch all of them?
I watched a couple of them.
So you're a nerd. Like, why didn't you ever get into them?
Yeah, Wizards, dumb. I had
Wait.
Space Wizards with Star Wars. Completely different.
Wait. Yeah, actually, come to think of it, you hated Lord of the Rings, but was that more because of Matt and Legolas?
No, I didn't hate Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings. I just like kind of like soured on it after I tried to watch the director's extended cut of Fellowship of the Ring, and I was like, I'm sitting through an hour and a half of walking. What the fuck?
Jim, I mean, you just seem to have a problem with certain fantasies.
Oh, Brian, my fantasies are not the problem.
Is this going to tie into a topic we have in a little bit about how they portray orcs?
Oh, God, I can't do that.
No, like I said, I know it's amazing. I feel like I know now more people who are obsessed with Harry Potter than I do like Star Wars and other
Right.
things.
If only we were a 13-year-old girl in 2004. Oh, my God.
Ryan, dude, whew, I felt like so many kids we knew were obsessed with Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
But no, the game looks cool. I'll be honest. What would do it for me is if I did do another marathon with my kids or my wife and I watched it and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to play a game. Oh, it's like 30% off on Xbox. Then I might do it. I'm not going to go out of my way. It only makes sense. It makes me really clamor for another great Star Wars game set in an open world. Like, kind of do... I don't even know how you do it, man. Like, I know there is one coming out, right? Isn't it the same people who make Assassin's Creed are doing a Star Wars game? I feel like we talked about
I forget.
that.
I think we did. I can't remember, though.
Like, if you do a full... And obviously... I'm not talking Mass Effect level where you're jumping from planet to planet. Just give me like a full story on one of the planets, but make it open world. Have the characters, have the things. I want a good Star Wars like that. Like instead of just being on space fight or like, you know, space fighter shit like Jim loves, or doing like Battlefront where it's a little too big, or just like I don't know. I feel like give me something else. But all these big franchises, even Lord of the Rings, the last game they did that was great was that Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that was really fun. But, you know, I feel like Lord of the Rings just kind of died off in games. They had a lot of good games, though. They had a great RTS, actually.
Oh, yeah, I forgot which one that was, but yeah.
Yeah, I have it. I don't remember what it's called. But it was actually done really, really well, so...
Yeah. Well, Harry Potter had Lord of the Rings had the problem with having prequel movies come out that weren't as good as the ones that already came out, so.
Yeah. But no,
Definitely
I mean, Jim, is there any chance...
No one cared about The Hobbit. What?
Is there any chance you would go for this game?
I mean, I don't care about no, you know what? No, fucking, I'm not gonna play it. I don't care about Harry Potter. Nothing annoys me more online than people comparing like some big time life event that had, like Harry Potter or some like tragedy or something or other.
Jim, I think we talked about this. What annoys you more, Harry Potter fans, or for a while there the Marvel fans?
Oh, it's not a while. It's still going strong, but I don't know. I think I almost have to go the Marvel fans.
Is it just because it's more prevalent right now because it's more popular?
Could be. Yeah. Probably.
You just hate people, Jim.
You know, gotta hate something.
I remember you said before this podcast, you were like, man, there's no such thing as a real girl gamer. And I was like, I don't agree with that. But you kept going.
Right. Whatever do you mean? What obvious lie are you telling at this moment?
Great question, though.
That's a great one. Man, speaking of progressivism, Bri.
Oh, God. I need to get myself amped up for this one. Why don't you explain it, Jim?
All right, so our buddy at Max Marvel 123 wanted us to comment on the new extra credits video on race being... So basically the thesis to it was using race fullism, basically using races to represent evil is lazy storytelling in video games.
Okay, so number one, I never heard of extra credit before this. And they have
5 million subs.
2.5 million subs. I was like, and this isn't like I'm obscure. Like, I still feel like I know a good handful of like random big YouTubers. 2.5 million is pretty damn big. Maybe they don't cover a lot of other video game stuff. I don't know. But what I took away from their video is they were really going in hard trying to say, we're not trying to make another video that says the way they portray like certain fictional fantasy races like orcs or whatever are racist. They're just, like Jim said, they're lazy storytelling in video games. And their whole thing was basically trying to say, if you make an entire race like orcs automatically evil, then that's not racist. That's lazy, because then you're saying like there's no individual thought, da da da. And they tried comparing like that kind of thought process to, would you consider a tornado evil if all it knows is destruction? So if the orcs are being designed that way, then are they really evil? It was trying to get way too theoretical for fucking fantasy video game stuff, but in doing so, they like made the exact racist arguments they're almost saying like you shouldn't do. They're like drawing all the comparisons to these fantasy races in a way that's like they're assuming everyone thinks like that. And I'll be honest, I've never played a fantasy game and thought more than like, okay, like I'm playing Warhammer and I'm this race versus this race. I'm orcs versus goblins, or I'm like, you know, Necrons versus this. Like, I don't think more than like I just need to defeat my enemy. Like, they're going into like this whole other level, and in trying to disprove that they think like that, they made it really bad. And I like the guy talking, super pretentious, has the most annoying, he has to talk like this throughout the entire video. Like, he's like that annoying announcer voice, like he's putting it on, he's trying way too hard, and he's like trying to be too clever. They even go into basically saying like the way video games have been doing this well, or like some examples are like Mass Effect, where before all aliens were evil, but in Mass Effect there's some good and you find the complexities in all of them. But the only way to really get around this is if you have someone like being portrayed as a Nazi or something, and you have a symbol that signifies the individuals chose to join a group knowing it was evil, so therefore they're evil. But then when you make an entire race, like orcs, join that group, it defeats the purpose. It's like there was no satisfying themselves in this video. I don't know why they made it. And it's gotten like 27,000 downvotes and only like a couple hundred upvotes. It's being demolished, and as Jim pointed out, it's one of those, or no, Jim didn't point out. Somebody in the comments pointed out, they're like, I bet you guys can't wait till they get rid of the downvotes in YouTube to save your asses.
Yep. Gonna be a lot of not for me's. But, the fucking, here's one thing. I'm so goddamn sick of the pretentious YouTube essay. Like everyone, you better be fucking on your guard 24/7 if you're gonna be this goddamn pretentious in a video.
Yeah,
it's gonna be that classic thing where it's guys, the moral support, guys, the moral guy, guy talk to 13-year-old, oop, guy go away. Like, you better fucking just make like everyone just sets them up for failure when they do shit like this. It's just so goddamn smug. And my favorite thing though too is like I don't know shit about Warhammer, but like when they made all their comparisons to Warhammer, and all the Warhammer fans were like, like Warhammer, the point of it is like every race in it is bad.
Yeah.
And it's really just like the battle for who's the least worst.
Yeah, if you're going to go into, as we've learned, and I think Jim has definitely learned, if you're going to dip into a very vast nerd knowledge and just kind of not really know what you're talking about, there's going to be someone out there that calls you on your bullshit. And these guys, they used Warhammer. And in my very limited knowledge of like being into the games, I even knew, I was like, what the fuck are they talking? Like they clearly don't even know what they're saying. Like the humans are not portrayed as just the good guys, and the orcs are not the bad. Like that's not at all. So whoever made this video, it's like a combination of they were being pretentious.
It was based off an essay by like another guy who wrote it, who like made in like another video that they promoted about the blacks or orcs thing. So.
Well, I think what they wanted to do,
they wanted that same outrage.
Yes,
because they kept saying during the course of the video, oh, but that's a different subject for a different video, but they brought it up like 7 times.
Yes. So yeah, they were just trying to hit the same topic from a different angle. They're kind of re-attacking. They're saying the same issue. Like, it's still an issue with how you portray orcs, but it's not because of racism. It's because of this. But then, like Jim's saying, they just keep pointing to all the things in the worst way possible. Why make that? Like, I don't know, man. They didn't do the research.
People will talk about it and watch it and hate share it.
They just clearly didn't do it.
We all fell for it.
They didn't do their research, and I don't know how they have 2.5 million views. Like, I would expect that video from someone who has like 50K, 60K views. I don't know. That seems like a big for a channel that big. Unless
everything's a coordinated attack with a channel that big.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's Max, thank you for bringing us to our
Yeah, thank you.
I'll say thank you
for that,
son of a bitch. But yeah, that was yeah, man, you're grasping at straws there when you're worrying about shit like that. That's all I'll say in a video like that.
Yep, so click the link below for your... use a VPN so they don't get any money out of it for your weekly dose of pretension.
Yeah. So what else we got, Chambers?
I've got two subjects left. Our old favorites, starting with which is better. And this one comes from our buddy Kit. And it's a pretty simple one. Okay. Pilotwings or Pilotwings 64?
So I have Pilotwings 64, played it for maybe an hour, never played the original, but I saw the question, I looked it up. I guess it really boils down to which aesthetic do you prefer. I would assume Pilotwings 64 is probably a little better.
It's way, like, it opens itself up way more for like exploration.
That's the only thing I can say. I feel like neither game... I was shocked to find out that game is held in kind of high regard, not super high.
It was a really good playable tech demo.
Yeah, but I got to go Pilotwings 64, like Jim just said. It opens it up. The whole idea of like being a semi-flight simulator landing, like it just plays a little better, makes more sense on a console with 3D graphics.
All right, man. What the hell? I'll be the contrarian. I'll say original Pilotwings. I think the music's way better in the little bit that I've played of them. And it's actually funny because like I'm almost the exact opposite of Brian, where like I've barely touched Pilotwings 64 and I've played maybe an hour of the original. But I've heard the soundtrack a lot, so I'll say the soundtrack's better on the original Pilotwings. And yeah, just said it's all about the. You're not playing it for deep, complex gameplay over here. You're playing it for a game you can veg out to and enjoy the scenery and the sounds. So go with the original.
All right, so Jim lost again. So,
probably grasping his straws there.
No,
good music.
It is a good question. It is a game.
I don't have enough experience to be honest with you.
I do have a gaming music that.
Oh God.
I think you know what? I think we're gonna do a quick cut here because I'm gonna insert this right now, and it is Pilotwings 64. So I'm gonna give this to Jim in 1 minute. So give us a second. All right, and we are back. So I just sent Jim the link. It is from Pilotwings 64. It was kind of unexpected. I wasn't planning on doing a gaming music this week because I saw Jim had so many topics. When else am I really going to talk about Pilotwings 64? So I'm giving him the game song, and all I'll say is it's not like I won't say you like, oh my God, I love this song, but it's a song everyone knows. That's all I can say.
All right.
I'll give you that credit. So tell me when you're about to open it because I want you to do a specific timestamp for when it really picks up to the point where you should understand it.
All right. Click it on the video. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So this is Pilotwings 64 Gyrocopter. Go to 1 minute and 15 seconds.
All right.
Tell me when you're there. So Jim's listening, and I'm playing this song music if you're listening.
Ah, shit. Boy.
Is it ringing some bells? Like,
it's ringing bells, but it's not ringing enough bells.
yeah. So that part you're probably passing out.
Yeah.
It keeps repeating. Dun, 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 dun.
Wait, is that like a take on Real American?
No.
Okay.
But once again, think very well-known song, and think like I don't want to give you like too many.
I hope someone's screaming at their car stereo right now.
No, here's the deal. It's some people might get it right away. Others might. It might be like as soon as you hear it, you're gonna go, "Oh, it's that." Is it coming to you at all, Jim?
Nah, no.
Okay,
Tap it out.
Celebration by Kool and the Gang.
Oh,
come on.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can see it.
If you listen to the beat, like, it sounds crazy, but it's almost one of those ones when you do side by side, you're like, oh, this is undoubtable. But yeah, Celebration.
Yeah, it's as it's going down to scales, because when it goes up, then it's a different tempo. But yeah, no, okay, I can see it.
And it's funny because this same song, I think it's also on like one of the Mario Kart 64. I think it's on Diddy Kong Racing. Like they use Celebration, just that same like, dun, 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 like they do that a lot on the 64 for whatever reason. So
yeah, it sounds like a chord progression they would have.
yeah, so there you go. There's a quick little gaming music. We stumped Jim. Good old Tum Tum got stumped.
What am I going to like to see more in the comments? Tum Tum or Blub Blub? You tell me.
Jim, which do you prefer? I mean, Blub Blub has a certain mystique to it. It's a nostalgia at this point.
Blub Blub has a history. That's for goddamn.
Jim, would you prefer Fluffy?
Blub Blub is fine.
Jim!
I was Fluffy before goddamn Carlos, or what do you call it, Gabriel Iglesias. I could have been the rich one.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Fluffy was your fault.
I said your old fat dog was Fluffy, and then you said my old fat ass was Fluffy.
That's what I'm saying. It was your fault.
Leave my dog alone.
No, but great question, Kit. Yeah, I think Jim and I are torn on that, but let us know in the comments what you guys think. Which is better, Pilotwings 64 or the original on the Super NES? By the way, is it like almost safe to say, even though you just went contrary to it, every game that was pretty much directly remade, I'm not saying a different game, but a remake that was started on the Super NES is kind of better on the 64. Like, I think, like, Mario Kart, Star Fox, this, even though you disagreed with, like, I know there's plenty of other examples, but, like, something that was just basically the next iteration of that, I feel like they were almost always better, right?
Ooh, you're going to start a can of worms there with the Link to the Past and Ocarina people.
No, that's where I say they're not the same. I'm saying those are two complete. It wasn't a
Link
remake. To the Past to the 64. I think Link to the Past is better, and I'll go down that shield any day. And I'll say Donkey Kong Country is better than Donkey Kong 64 because that's not a remake either.
What a brave, brilliant stance that is, Brian.
I mean, Jim.
What a trend-setting opinion to place out there,
Jim. What was that one time we had that article where the guy was like comparing his fight for something to civil rights or the company? What was that?
I can't remember.
God damn it. I can't remember.
It was almost like Stadia or something. I can't remember. Shit.
It was something. Yeah, it was. Oh no. It was Fortnite people fighting Apple.
Against Apple. Yep. Yeah,
yep.
they were.
Yeah. Jim, we all have our fights.
We all have our crosses to bear, Brian. This being recorded on the day after Easter. So in memory of our Lord and Savior, our resurrected one, we carry that cross too.
All right, Chambers, so what's next?
As I sip my Keystone Light to round out the night.
Damn it, Jim. I know you have other beers. Don't be drinking Keystone Light.
I have so many in. We hosted Easter. I have so many Keystone Lights in my fridge. I have to drink them.
Jim, I can't wait for that can to be old, and then you'll regret having thrown out every single one of those cans because they'll become collector's items.
I do have to save one. That's a good point. We've gotten so much mileage out of that goddamn lawsuit. I have to save one.
Jim, you actually have to just buy a couple cases and like hoard them for value.
Gladly. That can be my sustenance when the Great War comes.
Damn it.
And last up, it is once again Overrated, Underrated. And this comes to us from Max Marvel 123 again. The top-down camera view for games.
So I know we just talked about that with like
isometrics.
Yeah. In some games like Contra 3, it gets a lot of hate. Those levels, to me, top down works best when you're a shooter. Like, I never really liked top down racers. Like, I never like
the old 16-bit rally games that were on
that was more isometric, but there were some
or Micro Machines? That was top
something
down.
like that.
Yeah.
I never liked that. It never controlling a vehicle never worked well. Top down shooters, especially Smash Arcade,
Smash TV.
Smash TV. A lot of games like that, roguelikes would make sense, but I guess would you consider
twin sticks? Depending on the one.
Yeah, they definitely work as top downs. I guess would you consider RPGs like Zelda? Is that really top down?
Yeah, like Link to the Past is top down.
Yeah, so JRPGs, I should say.
Well, I'm not going to call it Zelda's not an RPG. There's no place to be.
I'm saying JRPGs in general are almost usually top down.
Oh yeah,
from
sure.
that era especially.
Yeah.
In that style, they work well enough, but are they overrated or underrated? I'll go underrated for the sense that they are probably and this is going to be a weird word to say, they are probably the easiest to make because every time I've attempted or looked into a game maker, even for fucking around, they're done in that top-down RPG style because it seems to be easier to generate worlds, sprites, and everything in that manner. I think they're underutilized because you can still tell stories. You can still have decent enough control. Obviously, you're most of the time limited into a 90-degree movement, so you're going up, down, left, right. You're not, the diagonal is always a little wonky, but at the end of the day, you can still have very fun games with what is essentially one of the easiest things to design for. And when it's done right, it's done really well. But the original GTA up until 3 was all top downs, and that was a whole city, and that was done pretty well, and you could move vehicles pretty fast. They have a certain charm and a graphic ability that I think, like I said, they're not done enough. So I can't ever call them overrated because I don't think anyone would look at those games and say these are overrated. Since they're not utilized enough, I'll say underrated.
No, I mean, shit. I mean, I was basically going to say underrated because it just works. It's that timeless kind of feel where it's you can pretty up the graphics like you have with an Octopath Traveler right now, or you can keep it simple like so many other ones do, copying Final Fantasy. This shit just works. So it's not the prettiest, it's mostly not the flashiest, but goddamn does it just not work.
Now, Jim, do you prefer the zoomed in or zoomed out top down? Do you want it closer in on the action, or do you want it kind of like a fuller screen? So GTA I consider the zoomed out.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Legend of Zelda is that halfway zoomed in, and a lot of JRPGs are really zoomed in.
I mean, I guess at that point I would prefer an RPG just because, like, you still get more out of the world and the look of everything than you do when everything's, like, super zoomed out and, you know, it's a couple pixels. Like, it's almost like Atari level, but just a little flashed up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess in that sense, when you put it that way, I would definitely prefer the JRPG look.
Now, we know you hate stories, but even in top-down games, do you ever read the text, or are you always skipping through?
It depends. I mean, if it's a game,
No.
no. Like, especially like I had my RPG phase, and I would sit there through all the dial. You know, it depends on the game. Like, if it's a RPG, I'll do it. But if it's like an action game that for some reason has a shitload that's like top down in certain sections,
Yeah.
if it tries to like shoehorn in some story, I don't fucking care. Like, get out of here. Let me get back to the shooties. So
Yeah. Top-down twin-stick shooters, though, are
but
those
like
games.
especially JRPGs, there's no gameplay, so
Yeah.
you gotta do it.
Yeah, you got to read them, but like top-down shooters, they have a place, but they are such. I've never played a top-down shooter with twin sticks that I've never considered like. This is just like turn off your brain. Whatever, like
Yeah.
what? Even if you call it fun, like I almost find even like Xenocrisis, hard as shit.
Yes, it is.
I'm not really focusing on like I'm just like okay, I'm trying to win it. Like I never like sit down, just turn on and only focus. It's almost like a background thing. Like I might even have music or other shit on. But there's a place for that. It like gives you the best arcade feel from a console. I feel like, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that is a great question, Max. I'd be curious if anyone thinks they're overrated. Like I said, I don't think they're used enough to be considered.
Especially this day and age.
Yeah.
Like everything today is either third person or first person by, you know,
Yeah, probably.
the way graphics are.
Well, it's like weird. Like I would have said third person was the most overrated because it gets used all the time. But there's almost been this return to 2D style that I feel like is getting used a little too much now. Like I feel like too many things are trying to go back to that. And I'm like, like it's cute when you do it right, but there's a lot of shitty ones trying it.
Well, yeah, there's shitty ones of everything though.
Yeah.
It's easier to program a 2D game than a 3D. So
Yeah.
if you're going cheap and shit, then yeah, it'll probably be that way.
I just want my shit in 4D, Jim. Is that too much to ask?
Isn't 4D time? Isn't that the fourth dimension?
Exactly.
A little horrifying.
See what I just did there?
Bri, you're like Chronica.
Damn it! Then you're like Centurion, her daughter.
But she's a bitch.
Exactly.
She gets punked around all the time.
That's why you're her.
She's damn it.
Now, Jim, before we go, we do have one more thing to talk about.
We do? All right.
So we're recording this on the 5th, and our bracket is now in round 2.
Okay.
So as of this moment, I don't think there's been any surprises.
The best Sega Genesis game bracket.
Best
Have to
Sega Genesis.
specify.
Yep. I need to specify. But currently, as it stands, we're in round 2. There was no real shockers going from round 1 to 2. But where the voting stands right now, there are some that are a little shocking to me. So Sonic 3 and Knuckles is less than half beating NHL 94. That shocked me a
People
little
love
bit.
them some NHL 94, man.
Comic Zones is beating Golden Axe by the same amount, which
Really? Wow.
to me that makes sense. I know there's a Golden Axe fan base.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I mean, Comic Zone was huge.
Castlevania Bloodlines and MK2 are neck and neck.
Damn.
Which
That was a really that was the one that hurt the most for me.
that hurt me the most this round. I was like, God damn it. I don't know who to choose.
Yep.
Road Rash is beating Phantasy Star 4, which warms my heart.
Yes.
Because as I've said, obviously Sega is not known for RPGs, and that's its
Fantasy
best
Star
RPG.
is a great RPG. It's a great RPG.
Is it better than Road Rash, Jim?
Bri, no RPG is better than Road Rash, especially Chrono Trigger.
That is a
that'll
shocker.
anger some people.
Let's put it this way: Road Rash 2 was seated pretty low, but it was put in there because we knew we had to have a Road Rash. Phantasy Star is in the top 5 seeds, so that being beat this early would be shocking. Streets of Rage is just demolishing NBA Jam, as it should.
Yeah.
But I'm almost shocked it's that crazy. Like, granted, that's probably the easiest matchup of this entire round. Shinobi 3 and Disney's Aladdin are like neck and neck. And when I say neck and neck,
that was a tough one too. That was fucking really tough.
That is really tough. I don't know who's going to come out. Gunstar Heroes is killing Contra Hard Corps. I love me Gunstar Heroes. I didn't think it would be killing it this much. I knew it would beat it.
Contra Hardcore is a really hard game.
Yeah. Well, it's not called Soft Corps, Jim. It's called Hardcore.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter 2 is beating, but not by a huge margin, Shining Force 2. I'm going to go out on this. I think Shining Force 2 is overrated, Jim.
Wow. Brave stance.
It's fine.
Not a fan of the tacticals? The tactical RPGs?
I thought it was fine.
Here's the thing.
I'm saying it's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. Will never say it's bad. But when we played it and I tried it, I was like, okay, like, this is okay.
Yeah, we never got around to that review, but
no, but yeah, it's
I don't think I really like any tactical RPGs that much, and I've tried a lot of them. Like, that might make a good overrated underrated runtime because, like, I've tried Fire Emblem, I've tried Shining Force, I've tried Final Fantasy Tactics. None of them stick.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Now, Jim, if you were right now, you're seeing the way it goes. I mean, next round. Okay, so if it goes the way it's going, you might have Sonic 3 versus Comic Zone, which I think Sonic 3 cleans up.
That should be an easy Sonic 3. Yeah.
You got Castlevania Bloodlines and MK2 are tied for all, but essentially they may be going against one of them. Might go against Road Rash 2. So Is that a tough one? That's probably a really tough matchup.
Yeah, that's a tough boy right there.
Streets of Rage 2 is going to go against Shinobi 3 or Disney's Aladdin, which I think is a cleanup.
It's probably cleanup. It'll be closer than some of the other ones, but it will be. I think it's got to be a cleanup.
And Gunstar versus probably Super Street Fighter 2, I think, is kind of a cleanup.
Ooh, I don't know, man. People love them some Gunstar.
No, I'm saying it's a cleanup for Gunstar.
Oh, you're saying cleanup. See,
I'm saying, like, before, remember how mad I was at you with all the stupid Sega Genesis games you introduced me to? I was like, why didn't you ever have us play Gunstar? Because yes. I truly love the shit out of that game. And I was like, that is the best shooter on the Genesis. Undoubtedly. And I'm like, God damn it. Street Fighter 2, don't get me wrong, amazing fighting game. But, like, when I think of Genesis and best games, I would always kind of, in my mind, go Gunstar Heroes over a Street Fighter 2. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe Street Fighter 2 somehow pulls something out. Either way, like I say,
I want to be surprised with whatever wins that one either way, but, like, I think it should be close. Oof, man, that's a toughie.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think the toughest one to pick out of the next round, though, probably would be whoever wins between Castlevania Bloodlines MK2 versus potentially Road Rash 2.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with whatever goes with the Castlevania or Mortal Kombat 2 or Road Rash 2. I mean, I love Road Rash 2.
I think Road Rash is going to lose because the hardcore gamers won't go for that over the other ones, but damn, Road Rash 2 is a contender.
Is Road Rash 2 the Cinderella of this? Is it like the Pit Fighter Super NES on the worst console or the worst games?
How crazy would that be? Does she go all the way? Part
of me like laughed when I saw how close NHL 94 is. I was like, if that beats Sonic 3,
that would be so fucking fun.
If somehow people, and granted, by the time you're watching this, the voting for this round is already ended. But if somehow people turn this around and NHL 94 somehow beats Sonic 3 and Sonic doesn't even make it to the third round of voting for best Genesis game, whoo! Because this is the official score. I mean, no other list matters. This is the official best Sega Genesis game. Because we know what the worst game ever is. Right, Jim?
Oh, we sure do, Brian. Under dispute.
Jim, I just have a feeling no matter what, your vote is always going Streets of Rage 2. Nothing is changing that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in this, yeah. It's gonna be. I don't know. I don't know if anything I could vote Streets of Rage 2 over.
Yeah.
It's gotta be that one.
It's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah, but this is a fun one.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's like you love it and you hate it when you get, like I said, the
It hurts. It hurts so bad.
Castlevania Bloodlines
It hurts my balls.
MK2. I have to imagine is gonna be the one that stings me for the rest of the entire bracket.
I think so.
Bastard. But yeah. So make sure by the time you're listening to this, we're on to round 3. Get your votes in. I'm very curious to see where we're gonna be with this one. And when this one wraps up this week, we'll probably have another one going next week. So make sure, keep checking into our website. Keep following us on Twitter. Jim sends out the updates. And with that, we want to say thank you very much to everyone who's watched. Thank you so much to our Patreons who have followed us and supported
Thank you
us.
to everyone on Twitter. Once again, take a look at all the names below and give them some follows for bailing us out this week.
Yeah.
Tough week.
So with that, guys, we want to say have a good night and cheers. Oh,
Cheers,
so
guys.
many beers.